Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Oh, Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play.
What are we doing tonight, baby?
We're making desserts for our bonfire tomorrow.
Okay.
Because, and like everyone that was invited has to bring something, and then our thing that we had to bring was dessert, and then like everyone else, they bring like food.
A federal judge has officially rejected Diddy's plea to postpone his trial following the emergence of shocking new evidence involving 3 additional alleged victims. In a surprising turn, his family has reportedly stopped attending the courtroom proceedings altogether. Meanwhile, Ava Barron Combs, Diddy's adopted stepdaughter, is now allegedly being subpoenaed to testify in the upcoming case. Adding to the chaos, social media is buzzing with rumors claiming that Ava might be a missing child, throwing the internet into a frenzy. The story is spiraling fast. Let's break it down.
Found some old photos that go back many years. She was with him when she was very, very young, so she is in fact his adopted daughter. Some are saying this woman in the background here is her mother, but nothing is confirmed. You can see she's been with him in interviews, hanging out with Diddy's daughters. She was seen everywhere with Diddy. But shows that yes, indeed, they spent time together and they grew up together. This is in fact their sister and Diddy's adopted daughter. However, I found a video that is so suspect. I want you guys to check it out and tell me what you think.
This is my life.
I'm gonna buy the cars now.
This is
because I am a great father, but I'm sleeping with the girl.
Tell me, who do y'all have a crush on? Tell Daddy the truth.
I don't know about you guys, but that video and the way Diddy's acting raises so many questions. So many are asking, where's Ava Baroni Combs now? This is the most recent photo I found. There's another one I'm going to show you, which is this one right here. But sisters...
Fans are digging deep into the unsettling details of Diddy's connection to Ava Barron Combs, and what they're uncovering is disturbing. Back in 2020, during an Instagram live, Diddy introduced Ava as his adopted daughter, claiming she had asked specifically for a black father. At the time, she was said to be just 12 years old. In a moment that raised eyebrows, Diddy kissed her on the cheek as she shared that she had previously been homeless. But things took a turn when TMZ later reported there was no legal record of Diddy ever adopting Ava. Even more chilling, Ava's face appeared to be a near-perfect match with a missing child reported lost during the same period Diddy claimed she came into his life.
Or anything on, from that we picked up from Diddy today?
Yeah, it was different than usual. He got into the courtroom with his pad of paper and his pen really intently ready to just take notes. And he looked back into the gallery where he usually sees a row of family members and friends, supporters of his. But when he turned around and looked in the gallery, none of his children were there today, and he visibly looked upset. Now, about 10 minutes into the hearing, his son Justin did come in and sit in the gallery. Diddy turned a second time, looked directly at him, kind of nodded, and acknowledged that his son was in the courtroom today. But you could really tell that it impacted him when he turned back and did not see any kind of friendly face, Connell.
Here's where some of the allegations against his son Justin Combs come in. So all this takes us back to February, when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed civil suit against Diddy. In his lengthy lawsuit, Lil Rod straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes, underage girls, and workers. So in this specific instance, Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited, and a freak-off ensued. As an aside, this is the same night that Lil Rod alleges Diddy forced him to take a laced shot. He started to feel lightheaded and then woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, naked next to a sex worker. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant on this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO and
Diddy's troubling legacy of abuse is catching up with him, and now even his own family seems to be distancing themselves. Neither of his sons, Justin nor Quincy, whom Diddy raised from the age of 3, have been seen in court. Shockingly, both are now named in lawsuits alongside him. Leaked footage allegedly places Justin at several of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, raising serious concerns. In a damning lawsuit, former producer Lil Rod accused Justin of helping cover up a drive-by shooting linked to Diddy. Even more disturbing, legal documents allege that Justin played a role in arranging sex workers for his father.
Infatuated with a child that wasn't yours. Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? You make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, I mean, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother don't gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy.
About Quincy, right?
I don't know.
I'll be sure, son.
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son now, like that? Like you guess that's...
That alleged history of abuse isn't limited to strangers. Disturbing claims suggest it may extend to his own household. Insiders have long raised red flags about his relationship with his adopted son, Quincy Combs. According to Freddie P., a former artist under Diddy's wing, he personally witnessed unsettling interactions between the mogul and Quincy. The allegations go even deeper, with whispers that Diddy may have been grooming Quincy from a young age. If true, this points to a deeply troubling pattern that stretches back years.
The trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use amongst sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs, pass out or start falling over. This is, by the way, something that it was also alleged in Jones's lawsuit, that Combs would spike the drinks of different people. But focusing on Christian Combs, Markey says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but that he would come onto the yacht in the evening to party. And on December 28, 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure Markey to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. Markey alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts.
That alleged pattern of abuse appears to have passed from Diddy to his sons. With both Christian and Justin now facing serious accusations of their own, the toxic cycle Diddy is accused of starting seems to be repeating itself in the next generation. Christian, also known as King Combs, was recently named in a lawsuit filed by 26-year-old flight attendant Grace Omomar. According to the suit, Grace alleges that Christian drugged her with spiked drinks at one of Diddy's yacht parties, then groped and sexually harassed her. The disturbing echoes of Diddy's alleged behavior are now surfacing in his sons, and the fallout is only beginning.
Shooting cover-up. According to court documents, it happened on September 12, 2022, outside Diddy's Chalice Studios. Lil Rod says Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend who went by G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod says he heard multiple gunshots ring out and later found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. Lil Rod says he was applying pressure to G's wounds and then asked the crowd to call an ambulance. At that point, both Diddy and Justin Combs disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy then gave strict instructions to inform the PO by a drive-by assailant. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil lawsuit involves his other son Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 20.
These children aren't just bystanders. They're allegedly entangled in the very abuse and criminal cover-ups tied to their father. Justin Combs, in particular, is accused of playing a direct role in concealing a violent incident. In a lawsuit filed by music producer Lil Rod Jones, it's claimed that a drive-by shooting took place inside a Los Angeles recording studio. A man known only as G was reportedly discovered bleeding on the floor. According to the filing, Diddy was at the scene and immediately instructed Lil Rod to lie to the police. As law enforcement closed in, Diddy and Justin allegedly hid together to avoid being questioned. These details suggest a deep web of complicity, and the story keeps getting darker.
with Mr. Burgess. He apparently says he owns the rights to a book that was reportedly based on the alleged memoir of Kim Porter. In fact, according to TMZ, Burgess' phone was seized by the feds, and on it was a copy of a flash drive with material that was used in this book. Here's the problem. Christian and Quincy Combs, these are the sons of Diddy and Kim Porter. Quincy's actually adopted by Diddy. But they are reportedly fighting back, and they have sent Burgess a cease and desist letter to prevent the further sale of this book. They argue this is just an attempt to capitalize her IP, her intellectual property, like her diary entries, her potential manuscript, as her heirs. They own it. And they also want an accounting of current sales of the book. To be clear, though, they aren't acknowledging that there is, in fact, a long-lost memoir from their mother. In fact, they've actually denied that before when there was a similar book, a derivative work, we'll talk about that, published by this guy named Chris Todd on Amazon. They were adamantly fighting against that. They said that their mother wouldn't write this. But what they're basically saying is if something should...
Things get even more disturbing. Diddy's children are reportedly trying to block the release of their own mother's memoir. The unpublished manuscript, said to have been written by the late Kim Porter, allegedly reveals explosive details about Diddy's alleged sex trafficking operation. Kim's longtime friend, Courtney Burgess, has been working to bring her story to light, but now faces legal action from Diddy's kids, who have filed a lawsuit to stop the memoir from being published. The move has left many stunned, accusing them of betraying their mother's truth to protect their father's life.
And buy her mother to bars so that men will notice them. She's 15 when she comes home one night and an older man they know is in the apartment with the key. She writes, it was rape and a devastating betrayal, revealed by the man's cruel question. How does it feel to be whored by your mother for $500?
Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm.
The dark side of Hollywood has long been plagued by stories of child exploitation, with some of the industry's biggest stars being trafficked by their own parents. Demi Moore, for example, was allegedly sold by her mother for just $500. It's not hard to imagine that someone like Diddy could be involved in similar horrifying activities. Shockingly, several attendees at Diddy's infamous parties have stepped forward, claiming they witnessed parents bringing their children to his freak-off events and then abandoning them there alone. These chilling accounts paint a grim picture of the depths to which some will sink in the pursuit of fame.
Business-wise for a long time.
Well, that's why. It's only business. It was really... Away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him. Right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards. It actually is to a degree. And when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter. Like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, nah, I spend $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because...
The uncomfortable truths surrounding Hollywood's elite are hard to ignore. In the world of entertainment, it wasn't a secret. Everyone knew what was happening at Diddy's notorious freak-off parties. Children were reportedly present, and disturbing video evidence has surfaced to support these claims. Celebrities who attended these events were fully aware of the abuse taking place, yet they still showed up.
Offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt.
Holy
this is not Photoshop.
Shit.
This is Stop it. You set that up. Look, obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. Guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think is happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on there.
Wow.
Because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we got to hang out now. Like, you know, like hang out.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, maybe I'll take you shopping and I get you some flash and you can give me the hood shit. Let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the way. Certain things, they let it go by because it's Puff. He wasn't like in the closet. He was like in the hallway.
All these years, you being the only one calling this out.
No, I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long
They
time.
say you're a hater. They say you're crazy.
You do this, yeah, and now everybody's complaining my ass.
Because for many, the allure of fame and power outweighed any concern for the victims. The industry's indifference to the suffering at these parties speaks volumes about the level of corruption and moral decay lurking behind the glittering facade.
Don't throw out allegations, but like, you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that shit in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like,
I took for her to remember, buddy. I didn't fucking give her a drink so she forget what the fuck happened. What the fuck is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the fucking drug to perform. So she can remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work? Did it work?
What the fuck? This is, yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. Well, I don't know why it's so hard for people
so
to just
for people to
acknowledge
feel
weird
like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too, then this is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what does that mean?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with that.
You do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now, and then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic.
He allegedly had his sights set on 50 Cent and even suggested taking him out for a shopping spree. However, 50 Cent wasn't interested and turned him down. On the other hand, Meek Mill didn't hesitate to say yes to Diddy's offer. He recognized the immense fame and opportunities that would come from aligning himself with a mogul, eager to use the connection to further his own career.
It's that you've been working on Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like when I seen today, it was allegations. It's a long time, to be honest with you. Like when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So it's kind of interesting. I think that civil suit turned into a look. They looked at it like maybe it's a criminal situation.
Right.
A little early, and it could have been the same lobbyists and the same people that use their connections to make that.
Is that kind of why you was going hard on him the last couple of years? Is it because of the liquor situation? Because to be honest, since the situation he's in now, it's kind of like you fell back. You fell back on him. Was this all over the liquor, or you just said?
Well, most of that was motivation. That was competing,
right?
With brands, and he was ahead of me.
Right.
Because he had been working on Ciroc and stuff like that. And then integrating it into our culture with Coco Loso and different things with different people connected to it. So, yeah, that's what that was. But
the reason 50 Cent is speaking out while others remain silent is simple. He has nothing to hide. Unlike the many celebrities who partied with Diddy and attended his notorious freak-off events, 50 chose integrity over complicity. Now he's stepping forward to expose the names of those allegedly involved in this sex trafficking ring, revealing the dark secrets that others are desperately trying to keep hidden.